What's up, guys? We are back with part 2 of our Laughlin road trip, playing again at RiverSide Hotel and Casino. But before we get into that, this trip was a little more relaxed. Not all about the poker and the grind. We woke up today, got a workout in as usual, gotta always move your body and get a sweat going. It wasn't really the gym I was hoping to see when I walked in, but I'm a personal trainer and I can still come up with a solid workout routine with little to no equipment. It was leg day today, so what more do you really need than your body as the equipment? Some of my clients have minimal equipment at home, and I always come up with new and innovative movements and exercises that they can do at home on their own when they're not training with me. It was easy to say that I had the whole gym to myself, so playing some favorite tunes and not having to worry about anyone else getting in the way was a bonus. After a solid workout, I ate some food in my room, then headed down to the pool to get some sun. The adult pool that they had a nice view of the river, people going back and forth on boats and jet skis. It was 118 degrees on average during this trip, so had to get into the water and cool off. But most of y'all didn't click on this video for any of that, so let's get into the poker action. There was only one table of no limit going on, so it took a little while to get a seat, but finally we did, and again there was no max buy-in, so we start with $500 this time, still covering everyone at the table. This first hand we're gonna go over, we're on the button and we put on the $5 button straddle. It folds around to the cutoff, who had an architectural stack going for her. She was an older lady and we get into some hands with her in these sessions. She limps for $5. The action wasn't changed, so it skips us and goes on to the small blind, who comes along. The big blind gets out of the way. Now action on us, and we look down at a suited gapper, king jack of clubs, 40% of a royal flush. So we bump things up and throw out $25. The small blind and the cutoff make the call, so 3 ways to a flop, and it comes queen 9-6 rainbow. They both check in flow. We have an over and a gutter, backdoor royal flush draw. So hey, maybe we can get our third royal, who knows? With all that potential, we make a c-bet and throw out $20. Only the small blind makes the call, so we're heads up, and the turn comes ace of diamonds, bringing in the full rainbow, a card much better for us. So when he checks again for a second time, we continue and fire out $50, hoping it'll get the job done, because he only has around $65 left in his stack. The small blind thinks for a few seconds and makes the call. The river is a blank, it's a 4 of spades. He checks to us, and we have king high, and even if we do bet, he's probably just gonna call with anything for the remaining blues that he has. So we just wave the white flag and check back. He turns over his cards and shows queen jack offsuit for top pair on the flop. I guess he read my soul that I didn't catch an ace on the turn. Bummer, but a few hands later, and spoiler alert, we deserve to lose this one, not gonna lie. We're in the end of the gun, we're first to act and look down at pocket sixes, and we do something that is rarely advised. We limp for $2. The action folds all the way around to the small blind, who puts in $1 for a call, and the big blind checks her option. So 3 ways to a flop in position, and we actually hit top set on a 6-4-2 rainbow board. The small blind checks in flow, but the big blind actually bets out and leads for $10. There's really nothing to worry about on this board, so we just smooth call in position. The small blind folds, so now we're heads up. The turn is a 5 of clubs, probably one of the worst cards in the deck. And to make it worse, the big blind continues, but only for $15. Again, kind of unfortunate, but it's so small of a bet, and I don't know what we can really represent if we raise now. So we just call, and we'll evaluate on the river. And it comes a brick, it's an ace of spades. The big blind announces $20, and it's another small bet, and I just had a weird feeling about it. I don't know, I just shrug and pay it off. Of course she had a straight, why wouldn't she? And I wasn't really mad, like I said. I deserved to lose that one, the way I played it. Just was botched from the beginning, and on no street helped in changing the course of my actions. Sometimes when you know you messed up, it's hard to counteract by doing something that doesn't make sense. You just kind of have to let the ship sink on its own, so to speak. Good thing it wasn't for that much money. But don't worry, we get this lady back later on in the day. Just wait. 5 hands later, we pick up the best starting hand in poker, pocket aces. We're in the hijack. The under the gun limps for $2, folds to us, and we bump it up. We make it $20. It folds back to the under the gun, who makes the call. He's the same player from yesterday who doesn't know how to check and flow. We had jacks and the board comes 9 high and he leads out into me and 2 other opponents. If you haven't checked out part 1 of this trip, I'll link that in the description box below. Let's see if you learned anything from yesterday on how to check to the aggressor.
If an ace hits, send them in, alright?
If an ace hits, send them in? I'm not really sure what that meant, to be honest. Not sure if he meant if an ace hits to fold, because he has one and he puts me on a smaller pocket pair, or if an ace hits, he's folding. Not too sure. I don't really remember the board. I think it was jack high, but he does learn his lesson on check and flow, and we do c-bet $20, and he folds right away. Just good to know he's learning to check and flow. Maybe if enough people see this video, see my channel, they can learn a thing or two, like this guy. The very next shuffle, we pick up ace-10 offsuit in the low jack. It folds around to us, and we raise things up and make it $10. The button, small blind, and big blind make the call, so 4 ways to a flop, and it comes king 8-4 rainbow. Both blinds check on over, and we don't really have much, so I think betting is the best choice. It's a pretty safe board, really dry, so we c-bet and throw out $15. The button gets out of the way, but both blinds come along. At least we're in position the rest of the hand, and the turn comes, it's queen of spades, bringing in the backdoor flush draw, and giving us a gutter. They both check again, and now we have a choice. We can continue firing, representing a king or better, or can see a free card. I highly doubt our ace high is good with 2 callers, and if one of them does have a king, I don't think they're folding to any size bet, so we take the free card option. And the river is a jack of spades. We do hit our gutter, but it's not the nuts because the backdoor flush does complete. They both check over for a 3rd time, and I highly doubt they're checking over a flush, so we confidently know we have the best hand. Now the question is, how much value can we get from a king? A hand like king 9, king 10. There's only $85 in the middle, and we don't want to scare them off a king, so we go a little more than half pot and make it $50. The small blind thinks for a second, looks like he was just about to throw his cards away, but says, I don't know if I'd give off that much information with the player still left behind. If I were the big blind and I heard that and I thought I was full of it, I'd make a big raise, knowing for a fact that the small blind isn't that strong based on his comment. But hey, that's just me, taking the information that is given and using it to my advantage. The big blind does muck his cards, and we show and take it down. Got lucky hitting our gutter and getting paid off. Again, the very next shuffle, we're getting involved a lot early in the session. The lady to my right makes it $10, a min click, another pet peeve of mine. We are next to act, and we look down at the second best starting hand in poker, pocket kings. Min clicks are not gonna fly with me, so we 3-bet and make it 35. 3x, a standard, plus a little extra, because it was a cold 3-bet, and we are not in the best position, we're in middle position. The $5 button straddle is on. I think the dealer made a mistake on this one, because the action was changed because of the raises, so it should have been the button next to act, but she skipped him for some reason. The blinds fold, and the lady to my right calls, and the button comes along, so 3 ways to a flop. And it comes king high with 2 diamonds, so we hit top set. The lady to my right and the other gun 1 checks, and we have an aggressive image playing this many hands in a row, so we take advantage of that image and c-bet to $25, hoping they just get sick of it and think that I can't always have it, but they fold pretty quickly. I think I might have had deja vu of flopping top set and her catching a straight to beat me, but even with my image, couldn't get looked up for less than a 4th pot size bet. I guess my excuse was there were 2 diamonds on the board, so we could have gotten value from flush draws. Only a few hands go by this time, and we're in the small blind. There's a few limpers in the field, the low jack and the high jack. The cutoff and button fold, action on us, and we have another pair, this time 10s. Being in the worst position, and there's a lot of boards we are not gonna like, gonna try to thin the field, so we raise it up to 15. The big blind cold calls 15, the low jack also calls, but thankfully the hijack mucks, so I guess we accomplished the mission, thinning the field. I guess I should have said the goal was to go heads up, but 3 ways to a flop. And it comes queen 6-4 rainbow. We're first to act on a pretty dry board. I check out of position, and the big blind checks as well. The low jack takes it upon himself and bets out $15. Can't really go anywhere with only one overcard to our pair and facing a less than a third pot size bet. We call. The big blind folds his cards, so now we're heads up. The turn is another undercard to our pair. It's a 9 of spades. We check again over to the low jack, and he does fire again, this time for $25. We make the call, and the river is a bad card. It's a jack of clubs. So many things now beat us. We check over for a third time, and the low jack quickly fires out, $55. Action now on us, and we are double blocking the nuts, but this player was a true OMC, and he only had $130 behind. So I don't think we have enough fold equity if we jam. If the game was bigger and the stacks were a little deeper, could definitely have led big on the river or check raise big, but we just give up and grant him this one. I guess he kind of deserves one, considering we got lucky going runner on him a few hands ago. The very next shuffle, I swear it seems like all these hands were in a span of like 15-20 minutes. We're on the button, and I was taking some notes on the last hand, so we didn't put on the button straddle this time. It folds around all the way to us, and we upgrade this time to pocket jacks. We raise things up and make it $10. Only the big blind makes the call, so we're heads up to a flop. And it's a similar board, only one overcard to our pair, Queen 8-5 rainbow. The big blind checks in flow, and we make it the same as pre-flop and c-bet to $10. He calls. The turn is a 7 of diamonds. Action goes check. The river is another 8, pairing the board, 8 of spades. He checks again, and I think we gotta go for some value, thin value, and we bet out $15. He calls pretty much right away. A queen's good. And it turned out we were good. I wonder what he was calling us with, but we still get 2 streets of value. Nice. And this might be the last time I say this, I swear. The very next shuffle, I again limp. Remember, I do not advise this. We limp with a suited gapper, Queen 10 of spades. I know I did this earlier with pocket sixes, but maybe this time will be a little different. You never know. Or maybe we lose a massive pot. We'll see though. There's a few limpers, the under the gun 1 and the hijack. The button limps, small blind calls $1, and big blind checks his option, so 6 ways to a flop. And it comes good, really good actually. It's Queen 6 with 2 diamonds. It checks over to the lady to my right in the hijack, and she leads out, taking a stab, and makes it $10. I know we messed up the beginning by not raising pre-flop, so can't make any more mistakes. We can't let players draw for too cheap. We raise it up right here and make it $30 to go. It folds to the end of the gun 1, and he calls. The hijack folds, so now we're heads up. Please no diamond, dealer, please no diamond. And the turn is a red card, but it's a heart. It's a 9 of hearts. Dang, it looks super close to the 10 of hearts. The under the gun checks to us, and I keep on betting. Gonna charge those draws. We throw out 45, a little too small, I agree, but that's the number, 45. And this is part of the hand where he gives away some information. The gentleman stands up. He couldn't really see too well, which he talked about in prior hands. So by him standing, I knew he was looking to see if there was a flush possibility. With 2 diamonds on the flop and the turn also being red, but a heart, I knew it was one of 2 things. He was on a flush and seeing if the red card on the turn was another diamond, or he also had a queen and was concerned about the flush. Or he could just have Queen 9 and wanted to double check and make sure, because even me at a quick glance, I thought I boated up. So with less than perfect vision, I can see someone wanting to make sure it was what they thought it was. Alright, a lot of nerd talk, but all those thoughts are going through my head when he makes the call for 45. Depending on the river, if it's a diamond or not, can determine how we play it. With $172 in the middle, the river comes, and it's our dream card. It's a 10 of clubs, giving us the nuts. He checks us again for a third time, and remember what I said about what possible hands he could have? If he has a missed flush draw, he's folding to any size bet. If he has Queen 9, the money is going in no matter what. But if he does have the case queen, we could potentially overbet jam his whole stack of over $230. So we go for it and go for the absolute max. He doesn't snap fold, so having a flush draw is out of the question. He doesn't snap call, so Queen 9 is out of the question. He tanks and gets up a few times actually, checking every possibility, flushes, straights, almost counting on his fingers to see if there is a straight. No flush possibilities. There are some straights, so I do give him credit for thinking, but in his eyes, I could easily be bluffing with a flush draw. Obviously, we are praying for a call. We have the nuts, and the longer he tanks, the more he's trying to talk himself into a fold. He even gets up for a third time.
No.
Maybe it's where you're sitting, I don't know. You made it back.
Go take a hundred.
You do the same thing I do. I did 3 cushions in the back.
2 times.
It wasn't mine.
I
It wasn't mine. Somebody.
like the back.
Jack King has no home.
Sorry, I put
You don't got Jack King. I call both.
I have the nuts.
I go home.
Wow. Beautiful hand. Oh my God. Wow. Oh no. No.
He had queen 8.
What did you have?
Well, he had a queen.
Just a cooler, really. Queen 10 versus queen 8 on a double queen flop. But I think using the information of him standing up, we would have made the same move with any non-diamond on the river regardless. Say for example, a black ace hits on the river, or a black low card, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it would have been the same situation and our kicker would have played and won anyway. If you all like that analysis and the way we played the hand, besides the limp pre-flop of course, then give this video a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. I guess moral of the story, limping pre-flop does have its advantages. Just kidding guys, rarely do that if ever. Raising and 3-betting are always the better plays, but this time it just happened to work out for us. Wow, with all that craziness and all those hands back to back, we didn't get too much of a break, because about 15 minutes later, we pick up another premium. The under the gun and the under the gun 1 limp for $2. The next to act raises to 15. There's 2 callers, the hijack and the button. The small blind folds, action on us in the big blind, and we look down at ace king offsuit. Definitely 3-bet worthy, so we make it $60 to go. All the limpers besides the guy to my left and the under the gun make the call, so 4 ways to a flop out of position, and I could just sense all these players are looking for some revenge. And just sick and tired of me being the bully, the flop comes 3-7-4 with 2 spades. What the F kind of flop is that? What do you even do with my holding and this board out of position against 3 opponents? Anybody? We just check, because we have 0 backdoors and really no hope at all. The next to act, the initial raiser, wastes no time and announces $100, and you can already see the cutoff inches stack to make the call, and the hijack hasn't even acted yet. The hijack does make the call for $100, the cutoff jams for a few dollars less, and there's nothing for us to do. I just giggle and toss my cards into the muck. I didn't get the rest of the hand on video, but the guy closing the action who jammed in the cutoff flopped top set, and the initial raiser, seat number 2, had jacks and river to jack for a bigger 3 of a kind to win. I guess results oriented. If seat number 2 happened to 4-bet jam and I call ace king versus jacks and we lose a big flip, I'm pretty okay how it turned out looking back. That was the last hand of that short session. My parents and I got a little hungry and we wanted to eat, and what better place than an all-you-can-eat buffet. I'm a big boy, so gotta feed the machine. They had a decent all-you-can-eat spot here, a cool view of the river. Even as health conscious as I am, I can still find a few things to munch on at a restaurant. Clients tell me all the time it's difficult to stick to a diet on vacation or when they eat out, and it's all about balance and choices. There are decent options, healthier options at restaurants, just gotta know what to look for and avoid. Avoid the pastas, the fried this, fried that, things with crazy sauces. Pick low-calorie dense foods that will make you full and keep you satisfied. Yes, I'm sure the piece of cake probably tastes good, but I can eat a whole bunch of watermelon, still tastes great, gets me full, fills up my stomach, and doesn't allow me to have Dunlap syndrome. You know, Dunlaps, where the gut Dunlaps over your belt. I remember a professor in college saying that joke, and it still stuck with me. But after a solid meal and even catching my dad hit 4 of a kind on Let It Ride for over $1,000, our name finally gets called that a seat opens up. We start again this session with $500, and even some of the players that we played with before dinner are still here, playing, grinding away. We pick up right where we left off, getting involved just an orbit in. We're on the button, and the end of the gun straddle is on, folds around to us, and we have a suited connector, 7-6 of clubs. We bump things up to $20, the blinds fold, but the end of the gun straddle makes the call, so heads up to a flop, and it comes king 10-9 with 2 clubs. So only with 7 high, but we're really liking this board. We have a flush draw and a gutter for a straight, a lot of potential to be had. The end of the gun checks to us, and we're definitely gonna c-bet this one, so we make it a small amount and throw out $15. He thinks for a few seconds and min clicks it to $30. I hate min clicks, so annoying, and not really sure how to take this just yet. Only been sitting here for 10-15 minutes, so we just call, being in position. We can still control the rest of the hand based on certain runouts. Really just hoping to catch one of our draws, make our lives easier. And the turn comes and we get our wish. It's a perfect card, it's an 8 of spades. The end of the gun, first to act, continues to fire, but it's small, it's only $35. That is not gonna fly with us. The question is, how big do we go? He has around $300 in his stack. So we go with the sizing to make it an easy half pot size river jam for the rest of it and make it $115 to go. He thinks for about 10-15 seconds and makes the call, and the river comes, the worst card in the deck. It's a 7 of diamonds. So now any jack is now beating us, either gonna kill our action or we lost. He checks over to us, and you can hear in our voice, we check back.
Check. That's fucked up, man. Sorry, cussing.
See, told you, the no cussing rule. Still catching myself slipping, but you gotta agree, hitting a 3-outer to win? Come on. I guess a queen on the river would have had the same result. Queen of clubs, 1 time? No? But really just the worst card to possibly hit.
Like, apologizing?
No, I said F and...
Okay, you're fine. You can say it once.
Aw, how sweet she gave me a warning that I can say f once. But this hand I thought I played beautifully and still lost. Not a good way to start the session, but gotta keep pushing. We add on $200 to our stack, topping off, so in the game now for $700 total. A seat opens up to the other side of the dealer, and the way I shuffle my chips, it's just easier for the phone and my hand to be out of the way, so we switch seats. Don't get me wrong, I like the far seats to get the best view for you guys, but if I'm gonna be on one side of the dealer or the other, I'd rather be on this side. And in this hand we're gonna go over, the end of the gun folds, we're next to act and the end of the gun 1, and we look down at pocket jacks. We raise things up to $15. The cutoff makes the call, and big blind make the call. The big blind is one of the players who was on the table before we went to dinner. She's the one who caught us straight when I played those pocket 6s terribly. But anyways, 3 ways to a flop. And it comes jack 9-6 with 2 hearts. Absolutely loving life, hitting top set. But the big blind surprisingly leads for $10. Again, with the donk leads. I don't get it. Check in flow, ma'am, please. If you only take one thing away from watching my videos, any of my videos, check in flow to the aggressor. Just do it. We have the second nuts and only losing to 10-8 and not wanting players to see cheap turns and rivers to draw on us. So we raise it up right here, right now and make it $40. The cutoff gets out of the way and the big blind makes the call. And she only has $52 left in her stack, so the money's going in no matter what. But we're heads up to a turn, hoping for no hearts or no straightening cards. And it comes a 9 of diamonds, giving us a full house. And I highly doubt she led on the flop with pocket 9s, so we have the nuts. She still doesn't learn to check to the aggressor. She stacks her chips and announces all in. I beat her into the pot. I flip over right away. I don't want to slow roll anybody.
Jack's full here.
So you'll make it again.
No, I know.
Watch it.
No matter what I'm getting beaten.
I mean, it happens. It took her a while to see it. I told her she's gonna make the vlog again and to subscribe and watch, but she was a little upset. She was up a bunch of money and lost it all, giving it all back. So I don't think she's gonna watch this one. We go a little card dead for a bit until this hand comes up. We're in middle position, it folds to us, and we look down at pocket nines. We raise things up to $10. The next to act, the low jack, calls 10, and the big blind closing the action calls $8 more. So 3 ways to a flop in between 2 opponents. And it comes 4-4-3 rainbow. The big blind checks and flow. We have an overpair, so we see bet and make it $15. The low jack and the big blind call, so still 3 ways to a turn. And it comes a 8 of hearts, a card that hits our range, not our hand, but our range. The big blind checks and flow again, and I think the turn is a safe card to continue on, so we do to represent the ace and throw out $50. I think that size should get the job done, but nope, the low jack calls $50 and the big blind mucks, so now we're heads up. And the river is a jack of spades, another card over our pair. We're first to act this time, and we have been telling a convincing story thus far, so can't really stop now. We have to fire that third barrel, and we do, we make it $75. We don't want to make it too large, want to make it seem like a bet for value instead of a bluff. He doesn't snap call, which is good, exactly what we wanted, putting him into a tough spot. He tanks, counts out some chips, just hoping that he finds a way to let it go, and he does, he ends up folding. He had a few words for me after the hand. I'm sure he's watching right now, cause I never told him what I had. I said, you gotta watch to find out. He said he folded king jack, so it was good to know we got one through with our value size bet on the river.
What do you think? I was gonna be like, I'll show if he folded, but I didn't know if I said something it might have triggered something.
Feeling good after that hand, hoping to continue the momentum, but just when I finish stacking my chips, even before the next hand is dealt, I get a tap on the shoulder. It's the floor manager, and he told me, after all, I can't film anymore. I was shocked when he told me, to be honest, but hey, he was cool about it, and I didn't ask any questions. I just said, okay, no big deal, rack up my chips and cash out. I'm sure some of you guys who are new to my channel are probably like, what the heck, like what's going on? Here's the official outro explaining a little more about them saying I could film at first, then telling me no after all. That is it for us, guys. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it that they finally said I couldn't film anymore. I mean, I was playing for 2 days. I had like 10 plus hours worth of playing, and they let me, but all of a sudden they didn't let me anymore. I mean, let me just give you the breakdown on kind of how this all started. I mean, you guys know me, I really don't care to play at places where I can't film. I mean, I like to play cards, but I kind of want to make the content for you guys, and that's what I do now. I do YouTube, so getting the content is kind of a must. But yeah, so I like to play at places where I can film. So what I do is I call, like, hey, can I come and film? Like, this is what I do, this is my name, this is my channel, like I just want to film my hands and play cards at your establishment. And I did, and they said, yeah, it should be fine as long as everyone's cool with it, which I understand. I mean, some people, they don't want to be on camera, or they get kind of weirded out when they're potentially going to be on camera. I don't know. I mean, I really don't get it, but for the most part, 99 times out of 100, everyone's like super chill about it. So yeah, everyone was chill. Everyone was aware that I was filming. I mean, I don't hide it. You can't really hide like a phone. I mean, the phone is right in front of me. I'm picking it up from time to time. Like, who does that other than people that are either taking pictures or taking videos? So again, everyone was aware of it and cool with it. And yeah, I was playing for a lot of hours, and what I think would happen was the bottom people, like the floor manager, was super cool, and then the next level was okay with it, like cool. They're like, all right, let me talk to like the head guy. So I think what it was is it took a couple days or whatever to get to the head person, like the legal team at the top, they were saying. And
yeah, it took them that long to get to me finally and said, yeah, they finally said that you're not allowed to anymore. And their big thing was, I don't know, something about talking crap about the poker room, or like say I lose a lot of money and I just say, hey, the dealers suck, the poker room smells, I don't know, anything bad. They didn't want that bad publicity, but all publicity is good publicity, which I don't understand. But yeah, that's what they said, and they finally said I couldn't film anymore. So that's what happened. But I don't have anything bad to say about here, RiverSide and Laughlin. I mean, small poker room, what is it, like maybe 10 tables? But I mean, the staff was super cool. Like I said, they were really cool about me filming. Like I even showed them my stuff. I was like, yeah, this is what I do. I'm showing my hand, I'm doing voiceovers, I'm like, it's all later on, it's all edited afterwards, it's nothing live. And they were cool about it, and then some of them even subscribed like right then and there. They're like, yeah, I'll watch your stuff. I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it. And all the players too, like, so 8-handed, 9-handed, like half of them would subscribe like on the spot. So I was super grateful for that. I mean, it was super fun. We won money. I'll just go over the numbers right quick. The first session, what was it? I think I won $15, $20. I mean, better than losing, right? The second session, so day 2, before dinner, I mean, we didn't play for that long. We were down like 200-300 and then came back 229 ahead, 229, 239. And then right after dinner, came back, again, lost like $200 right away. What did he have? I didn't remember. I think I turned a straight, was it 6-7 of clubs, turned a straight, and then he rivered a straight because the river was a 7, so any jack makes a straight, and he had 2 jacks. I'm like, the worst river card. Like, it couldn't have been a 7. I don't know, I could have caught my flush, anything, but no, that didn't happen. So lost a big hand there and fought back. I mean, you saw that last hand. They were asking me at the end, they're like, what'd you have? And I even told them, I was like, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Like, your ace, like an ace is good. Or I was gonna say, if you're thinking that long, you lost, or something. I was gonna open my mouth. I really wanted to open my mouth to say something, but I was like, if I say something, it's gonna be, I didn't want to give anything away. And luckily I kept my mouth shut, and he laid it down, and he said he had King Jack. So he rivered a bigger 2 pair than me, and I would have lost, obviously, so I had to bet to win. And I made a good play, or maybe he just made a bad fold. Either way, I don't know, or both. But yeah, so, but yeah, that session, few hours, and I lost $42 because I bought in 200 more. So in for 7, out for, what is it, $42 less, $658. So all in all, won on the trip. And it's been, I think, a year since I've been here in Laughlin. Even the last time, I don't even know if I played cards. I think we stopped by after a trip to Vegas. So I didn't even play cards. So it's been a while since I played cards here, and nothing bad to say about the poker room, like I said, but they just don't let me film. And that's kind of a big thing for me. And yeah, I was like, all right, I'll leave. Like, later, guys. I said later to the table, and they were super chill. Gonna see the vlog, so they're probably watching right now. But yeah, a lot of good hands, a lot of good content to go over, a lot of work. I mean, sometimes it's like when it's that many hands, and some of them are like in between, like they might be worthwhile noting, but then some aren't. That's like the hardest part. It's like you want to make it interesting, but then you kind of want to tell the story on exactly what happened, because sometimes even the boring stuff kind of like sets up for like a big bluff or a big situation that happens. But yeah, so I really got to do that. So I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow, because yeah, I'm here for one more day, so I don't even know what I'm going to do. maybe just hang at the pool or rent some jet skis and ride them on the river. We'll see, but yeah, it'll be a good good last day that we're here. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. It was super fun being here again at Laughlin. I don't even think I've seen a vlog in Laughlin. Well, for one, they don't really allow filming, so that's kind of why, but I was grateful that they allowed me to play for 2 days and I got the content for you guys. So if this is the last video at RiverSide ever on YouTube, let it just blow up and everyone gets to see it, because it might be the last one. It's like the rarest of rare. Like, you're seeing it here. You're seeing it here. Well, not live. You live, me not live. But yeah, you're seeing it, and it might be the last one here in Laughlin, RiverSide. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great day. Hopefully you guys moved today, worked out, do something, move your body, because yeah, health is everything. If you don't have health, I don't know what you got. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm super tired. It's already late, and I'm Matty Ice. This is Gaines Poker. Peace out.